I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is some news coming from Wales. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and don't forget to check out the website for the latest news. CCTV footage shows the moment that Preet Vikal, who's 20 years old, carried a Cardiff University student across a car park, took her home and raped her. She was intoxicated at the time and wasn't able to make a decision as to what she wanted to do. They did not know each other when they went out in separate groups. And the prosecution said the victim had drunk to excess on the night of the rape, but the victim's recollection of what happened was vague, but her and her friends said they started drinking at home. She said she ended up in another bar, and by the end of the evening she barely remembers what had happened. Another clubber, who did not know the victim, became concerned for her welfare when she sat down and gave her some water. The victim was not able to stand up straight and she was slurring her words. At one point she went to the toilet and a stranger was helping her, but took her phone and sent a message to her friends. The stranger had texted her friend to say that her friend was intoxicated and she needed them to come and find her. Once outside, the victim met Vikal. He was an engineering student who had been out drinking at the same event, and Vikal joined the victim's group as they walked along North Road. He and the victim then moved away, far ahead of the rest of the group, and CCTV which was played in court showed Vikal carrying the victim in his arms and shoulders at 4 a.m. He then put her on the ground and lifted her to her feet. As they passed the Blackweir pub, the victim was walking but heavily leaning on Vikal. Vikal brought the victim to his room in Talibans, and the prosecutor said that he took a trophy photograph of her on his bed. The victim wasn't naked at this point, but the picture was very revealing. The victim had no recollection of what had happened, and she didn't remember the rape. She just remembers waking up inside his bed, and she did not know where she was or who she was with. The prosecution said that she was bleeding. She found her clothes, got out of the bed and got dressed. The victim asked the defendant's Instagram address, and then she left. She messaged him after asking if they had sex, and if so, whether they used protection. The answer, she said, was yes, they had, but they had not used protection. The court heard that Vikal sent the picture to a friend later that day and said in the chat that he had forgotten to use a condom. The same day, the victim reported Vikal to the police and he was later arrested. And the following day, he gave a prepared statement saying that the victim had been a willing participant. But the prosecution said it was very clear that she was too drunk to consent to sex, and Vikal pleaded not guilty before finally admitting rape on the day of the trial. The victim attended court for Vikal's sentencing and she read a powerful statement. She said that she was left shaken and unable to sleep following the attack that took place and was performed by Vikal. She said it's difficult to pretend it's okay, but I want everybody to know that this is not okay and this is what happened. The defence solicitor said that this was not a predatory offence, but a chance meeting of two young people who were both heavily intoxicated. The court had seen the amount of alcohol that had been drunk, and he left himself incapable of accessing his abilities to consent, and both of them were under the influence. The barrister asked the judge to pass a lenient sentence, pointing out that her client had experienced bullying while he was remanded, and some of it was racially motivated. The judge said Vikal's remorse and his behaviour was out of character, and the use of the alcohol on the night was an aggravating factor, rather one that would reduce his sentence. She sent Vikal to a Young Offenders Institute for 6 years and 9 months, and he will serve 2/3 of the sentence in custody and the remainder on licence. So I really want to hear what people have to say on that story, and don't forget to always make sure that your friends are okay when you go out, and remember the dangers that are posed every single day in these sorts of situations. I really appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back again very shortly. Peace.